Mr. Azmoon Ahmad.
Mr. Speaker, the Intellectual Property Border Enhancement Bill, which seeks to address and enhance our position as champion of IP rights and our tough stand on IP infringement, has my full support. This bill, which also runs in tandem with the Copyright Act, the Geographical Indicators Act, the Registered Design Act, and the Trademark Act, is timely and in accordance to our obligation under the proposed free trade agreement between the European Union and Singapore. In a report made in September 2017 by the International Property Rights Index, which ranks countries according to their protection of physical and intellectual property rights, has placed Singapore as the best in the region for protection of IP rights. An article reported by Forbes last year stated that numerous global studies reveal that countries with the strongest IP protections has the tendency to employ more full-time researchers, leading to greater investments in R&D and foreign direct investment. This results in large proportions of their workforce in higher-paying IP-intensive organizations and industries. Thus, inventions, artistic works, and brands are meaningless and determined to have no value without IP rights. It is estimated that income per capita to be 13 times greater in countries with strong IP protections than those with weak protections. With no natural resources and human capital as its only offering, it is by no chance that Singapore will have to emerge as a champion of IP rights, competing with other developed economies. While I support the bill, I would like to highlight the following concerns with regard to the enhanced border enforcement measures under the European Union-Singapore Free Trade Agreement, or in short, EUS-FTA. Pursuant to the EUS-FTA obligation, it is my understanding that upon request by the intellectual property right holder or IPR holder, it is allowed to seize suspected infringing goods that are exported under the Copyright Act and Trademark Act, as stipulated in Clause 12, Section 140B of the Copyright Act and Clause 65, Section 62 of the Trademark Act. Now my question, how does one qualify a suspected infringing goods as genuine? What would happen if a suspected infringing goods are proven to be incorrect? For the enforcement under these clauses, when can we expect that these are to be implemented and enforced? Similar to the above, the seizure of suspected infringing goods that are imported or to be exported under the Registered Design Act, or in short RDA, when is this expected to be implemented and enforced? Will it be on a different timeline and schedule, or will it be done at the same time as the above? Moving ahead, this bill is also intended to allow customs to provide intellectual property right holders with names and contact details of any persons connected with the import or export of the seized goods in facilitating IPR infringement proceedings. These are stipulated in Clause 4, new subsections inserts 140EA, 140EB, 140LD, and 140LE of the Copyright Act. While I can see the rationale and merits to these changes, thus speeding up the facilitation to be fast and efficient IPR infringement proceedings, nevertheless, I have the following queries. Why was this not implemented before? B, was there a specific reason that this has to be changed and implemented now? C, has this in any way related to the EUS-FTA? D, even if the information can be provided to the IPR holder after the seizure of infringed goods and security deposits has been placed and supporting documents are submitted? How do we ensure that such information are well protected and does not fall into the wrong recipient? E, and lastly, if there is a lapse in D, is there any clause that states the cost of action? Mr. Speaker, the right to intellectual property is as valuable as any physical property. Protection of IP right must be and taken with utmost importance, and its infringement must be severely and appropriately dealt with. The Intellectual Property Border Enforcement Bill is a step forward in the right direction. I truly believe that not only will it reinforce our position as a champion of IP rights, it will also bring us as one of the many international intellectual property hubs. With that, Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding the comments, I support the bill.